Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? That sounds like a choice.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
I'm evil.
Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. What happened to you?
Kanye West, a name that once symbolized innovation, genius, artistic brilliance. One of the most prominent figures in hip-hop history, widely known for his polarizing cultural and political commentary, and obviously for his music, which unfortunately has taken a back seat in recent years, as his name has become synonymous with controversy, scandal, a public fall from grace. He's been making more headlines with his outlandish and bizarre comments on social media than with his actual music. This led to him becoming more and more detestable, even for his day one fans and stans. In this timeline, we will take a look at all the controversies surrounding Kanye and his tumultuous career, along with his unfortunate fall from grace, pinpointing the exact moment where it all went wrong. After being regarded as one of the most promising talents in the game, selling more than 160 million records, while also winning dozens of awards, 24 Grammys. There was a time when almost every rapper wanted a Kanye beat on their albums. His production in the 2000s revolutionized the genre. Not only that, but it also helped other artists to take their careers to the next level. His beats were soulful, and his lyrics resonated with listeners. Millions of fans that felt every word that came out of his mouth. For a moment in time, it seemed like everything Kanye touched turned into gold. He was a trendsetter, a fashion icon, and a voice of a generation. His undeniable talent allowed him to release highly successful albums like College Dropout in 2004, Late Registration in 2005, Graduation in 2007, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in 2010. Those are widely regarded as Kanye's best albums, his prime and best years, becoming one of the highest selling rap artists in history. This is the part of his career that his fans want him to go back to. You always hear the phrase, "I want the old Kanye back. He has lost his mind. He fell off. He wasn't always like this." But is that really true? Well, if you go back and look at some of the things he did back in the early days, you'll realize that he was never really a tame and level-headed person, or someone whose sanity you'd ever question. He was always a problem child, someone who gradually got worse over the years with his rise to fame and status in the game. Back then, he was shrouded in mystery and could only communicate with his fans through his music, interviews and shows, so you'd only see his outbursts and meltdowns on rare occasions. Social media has only amplified it and made the issue more serious and publicly known. We didn't really get to see his crazy emotional ups and downs in his daily life as much until everyone started using social media, shocking the world with one godless, honorless and shameless tweet after another. But how did we even get here? Did he just wake up one day and turn crazy? In a recent tweet, Kanye told a disturbing story from his childhood that left the world in shock. He explains how, until he reached the age of 14, he used to perform oral sex on his cousin, who was 4 years younger than him. And it all started when Kanye was around 10 and his cousin 6. Between 1987 and 1991, they used to consume pornography together. And this later turned into an addiction. His cousin is now serving life in prison for killing a pregnant lady. I will touch on this story later on in the video. But it's further proof that something wasn't right with him, even early on when he was still a kid. His childhood was far from normal. And I'm pretty sure Kanye hasn't even scratched the surface when it comes to all the crazy and messed up stories from his childhood. The next big incident that we know about was his infamous car accident on October 23, 2002, which supposedly turned him autistic, according to Kanye himself. He fell asleep behind the wheel and caused an accident, but then made the whole thing about him, playing victim, dodging accountability, and even blaming the guy he almost killed. The victim was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and later begged Kanye for financial help, cause not everyone has the resources to bounce back from an accident like that. How can you blame the guy you ran into after falling asleep and causing the collision? without the victim being able to do anything about it. No sane person would do that. No one has ever asked himself what happened to that victim. The whole world expressed sadness and showed sympathy for Kanye. He had his jaw shattered in 3 places and got his chin and mouth wired shut for over a month. He got the world's best doctors to get himself fixed, and then later made a song about it called Through the Wire, which actually helped him to kickstart his career. He was on the news and got free publicity and promo. Kanye learned that tragedies, accidents, and controversies help to boost record sales and grow a following. Kanye turned the accident he caused into something that helps him to grow his career, something that the fans can enjoy and celebrate, allowing them to sympathize with him, while completely forgetting about the victim whose life was altered due to his injuries. The guy had a broken pelvis, 2 broken legs, broken knees, and a shattered ankle, which required more than 10 screws to fix. You won't ever fully recover after such an accident. You might be able to walk and work again, but anything sports related will be nearly impossible or limited. He was out of work for over a year. No income for that long as an average Joe. Not everyone can afford to take a year-long break from the work field. He was most likely struggling financially, or else he wouldn't have begged Kanye for help for over a decade, hoping to get compensated for the accident Ye caused. Aside from the medical bills, he also had a totaled car. And Kanye not only refused to pay, but he also refused to apologize. Quote unquote, just didn't care. The self-proclaimed genius with zero emotional intelligence. 2 months after the accident, Kanye wrote the police that he's innocent, that it was actually the other guy that caused it, by cutting him off. He played victim, and later even claimed that the accident made him autistic, just to get some sympathy from his following. And we will see this type of behavior repeatedly throughout the video. This is not a character trait that he acquired over the years. It was always there. He's incapable of taking responsibility. Only pretends to admit mistakes and apologize to avoid consequences and backlash, while years later showing his true colors and confirming that he didn't actually feel guilt or remorse for his actions. He lacks accountability and maturity to the point where he doesn't really care or is incapable of understanding the consequences of his own actions. Just like a kid, he's also denying things that are objectively true and provable. Just like conspiracy theorists who are disconnected from reality, turning everything into a huge plot against him every time he's in the wrong or not perceived in a favorable way, while he is the center of the universe in his own mind. And his stans believe every word that he says. His ego is out of this world, not comparable to the healthy egos of top-tier athletes, because they at least have the maturity to accept defeat and shortcomings to move on, to learn from it, to get better, to self-improve, to see what they could have done better. Throughout his career, Kanye has built something like a god complex. This image of him being this genius that has the answers to everything. Someone who can be a teacher, politician, musician, prophet, and everything else you can imagine. All at the same time, the moment he feels like it. I mean, he's bipolar. He has all these mood swings. 1 minute he opens a church and becomes super religious, holier than Jesus Christ. The next he's on the red carpet with his naked wife, planning to start a porn company dedicated to his deceased mother, having orgies, forcing his employees to watch porn, turning into a Nazi, worshipping Adolf Hitler, and wanting to eradicate the Jews. Always right, never wrong, better than everyone else. Everyone is plotting against him. There's just no other explanation. Due to his god complex, it's almost impossible for him to admit that he's just a flawed human being just like everyone else. That itself is almost like an insult to him. And on top of all that, he's also reckless, unpredictable, and short-fused. Throughout this video, you will realize how much he loves the attention, how much he loves sticking out, going against the grain, so to speak. He loves acting up and being different just for the sole purpose of being different. And he's also a sore loser on top of all that, with the earliest example for this being his loss at the American Music Awards on November 14, 2004, when he lost to Gretchen Wilson in the Best New Artist category. Kanye stormed out the audience and threw a tantrum. I felt like I was definitely robbed, and refused to give any politically correct BS-ass comment. I was the best new artist this year, and I am what Michael Jackson was to me. comparing himself to the greatest artist of all time, the same year he came out, a megalomaniacal man-child who can't accept criticism, and who thinks he's in a position to tell people how to rate and rank him, like his debut album College Dropout, for example. Kanye went on a rant that same year, when media outlets gave him a 4.5 out of 5, telling them to rate it properly next time, or else they'll lose credibility, convinced that everything he releases deserves a 5 out of 5.
Don't be dumb and not rate this album properly. I have something against any press that rated the album a 4.5 instead of a 5, an 8 out of 10. Rolling Stones gave it 3.5 stars. Now, who swallows their pride and says, you know what, this 3.5 stars album is album of the year? If you write a term paper out and you feel like you worked harder than all the other students and you get a grade of a B or something, you have the right to go and talk to the teacher and try to get that grade changed.
On July 2nd, 2005, Kanye shocked the world during the Live Aid benefit concert intended to raise awareness of global poverty and AIDS by saying that AIDS is a man-made disease, a disease that was placed in Africa just like crack was placed in the black community to break up the Black Panthers. The concert tour drew a worldwide audience of 3 billion people, and Kanye used this moment to spread harmful misinformation. He also reasserted his belief in the lyrics of his 2005 hit Heard 'Em Say.
And I know the government administer AIDS.
On September 2nd, 2005, 4 days after Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans with devastating impact, NBC gathered celebrities from TV, film and music to raise money for the victims. The NBC Live show, a concert for hurricane relief, drew 8.5 million viewers and raised a reported $50 million. But that is not what it's remembered for. Today, people remember it for that awkward moment when Kanye went off script in front of over 8 million viewers and said, "George Bush doesn't care about black people," while looking straight into the camera.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
He apologized for that comment 5 years later, saying that he didn't have the grounds to call Bush racist, and later stated that he was quote-unquote programmed to think from a victimized mentality. On December 6, 2005, leading up to the 2006 Grammy Awards, Kanye complained that because of his comments about President Bush, he will likely be out of contention for Album of the Year. "If I don't win Album of the Year, I'm gonna have a problem with that," he said. He did end up winning the Grammy for his album Late Registration, but he then questioned the legitimacy of music magazines The Source and Vibe because they didn't give his album 5 stars, saying that he's not going to apologize for producing what he calls a classic record, expecting every single one of his releases to get ranked as the greatest piece of art in history. Just petty, childish, and megalomaniacal. He then appeared on the cover of the February 2006 issue of the Rolling Stone magazine, not only comparing himself to Jesus as promo for his single Jesus Walks, but also posing as him. He had a crown of thorns just like Jesus Christ, and the cover was titled The Passion of Kanye West, referencing the movie The Passion of the Christ, fueling Kanye's growing ego and God complex. A lot of people were upset about it, but Kanye didn't even acknowledge the fact that it could be seen as disrespectful to Christians and Muslims. Instead, he resorted to gaslighting and accused people of not wanting to see him shine, not wanting to see him say that he's great. "You want me to be great, but you don't ever want me to say I'm great?" On November 2nd, 2006, at the MTV Europe Music Awards, Kanye infamously interrupted the ceremony when he lost in the category for the best video. He went on stage and took the mic to express his dissatisfaction for not winning the award for his music video Touch the Sky, saying that whenever he loses, the award show loses credibility, making those bold and arrogant comments while admitting to be misinformed in the same sentence. Cause he said that he has never even seen the video of his competition. So how can you know that your video is better?
But they want to thank you guys. Thank you.
Oh, can you? You won already.
That's all good. Like, we got to share the wealth, but this video cost $1 million, fam. I had Pam Anderson. I'm jumping across canyons and
Now you're gonna have to share.
oh hell. Oh. Hey, if I don't win, the award show loses credibility. I appreciate it, man. You know, it's nothing against you. I've never seen your video. It's nothing against you. But hell no, man. I love y'all.
Hey, you should have
Thank
seen the
y'all very
video,
much.
man.
This wasn't the only time he crashed the show. He would do it again and again, with his fans finding it entertaining and comedic. While others criticized him for being a sore loser, somehow everything he did was controversial at the time. And it only got worse and worse. Like a year later at the MTV Music Awards 2007, he declared that he would never return to MTV after Britney Spears was chosen to open the show instead of him. I can't believe she would perform. She hasn't had a hit record in years. Give a black man a chance. They don't want a effing black man in that position. Saying that he'll never return to MTV, a promise he broke a year later. What upset him even more is that he didn't win any awards that night, even though he was nominated in 5 categories. Like in the category for Best Male Video, for example, which he lost to Justin Timberlake. Kanye voiced his dissatisfaction on stage, criticizing MTV, cursing and rambling, throwing a tantrum like a man-child, obsessed over the most trivial validation. That's 2 years in a row, man. Give a black man a chance. I'm trying hard, man. I have the #1 record, man.
MTV, tell them what the I said. Y'all had these lights, man. 5 nominations. Lost the Black Eyed Peas last year, man. I'm never coming to MTV. Man, that's 2 years in a row, man. Get on this, man. I love this, but man, goddamn, man. Give a chance, man. Give a black man a chance. I'm trying hard, man. I got the #1 record, man. I'm trying, man. I'll give a chance, man. They don't want to black that position, man. They don't want it, man.
People criticized him for being unprofessional and childish, but that didn't stop him from continuing to pull these stunts at award shows. 2 days after the VMAs, meaning on September 11th, 2007, his third album Graduation came out, the same day as 50 Cent's Curtis. Both 50 and Ye were competing for the Billboard 200 #1 spots, with Kanye changing the release date of Graduation to the same day 50 Cent's Curtis was planned to come out. So they both were forced to compete. And Kanye ended up coming out on top by outselling him, which damaged 50's rapping career, to the point where he never really reached those heights again. He told everybody that he'll stop rapping if Kanye wins. And he won. 50 was selling 1 million albums first week, but it all went downhill after that incident, even though he continued making music, successfully taming the bully of the rap industry, the guy who diss all the top MCs in the game and destroy careers. So that was Kanye's peak, him at his best according to his fans and popularity-wise. Graduation became the album that his fans always use to excuse his bad behavior. Every time he has a meltdown or is about to get cancelled, people just say, "But he made Graduation," and then move on. So his fans enabled his bad behavior and tolerated it, just because his music was on point. His fans loved his albums and hits, so from that point on they let him get away with everything. Kanye noticed it, and used this weird relationship he has to his fans to his advantage, to continue to make headlines, stir controversy, every time he's about to drop some music, just so that everyone talks about him. One headline and scandal bigger than the next. This of course came at a price, cause he could only continue with his antics if he stayed consistent with his music. His fans might turn his back on him and stop making excuses for him once the music quality takes a nosedive. And that's what we actually saw a decade plus later. People slowly stopped letting him get away with things because his music got worse and worse. And not everyone was blinded by nostalgia. How long can you hold on to one album? But yeah, Graduation had a huge impact on the game, and marked a huge moment in Kanye's career. It seemed like he was about to become the biggest star in the world, but it all went downhill in a matter of weeks. His fans blamed his fall from grace on the death of his mother Donda West, which happened 2 months after Graduation came out, meaning on November 10th, 2007. The cause of death was coronary artery disease. According to most Kanye fans, this was the turning point in his career as far as mental health and musical output. They blame his psychotic break and mental breakdown on the passing of his mother, saying that it has left him mentally scarred. This was also around the time social media started to become more and more popular. So it was most likely an accumulation of different types of factors that led to him going down the slippery slope. According to the Mayo Clinic, periods of high stress, such as the death of a loved one or other traumatic events, are a risk factor for the mental health condition bipolar disorder, which he would get diagnosed for in 2016. Every manic episode raises the patient's odds of having another. It's like adding more wood to the fire. More wood means it's easier for the fire to be ignited. Keep that in mind for the remainder of the video, because every incident I will mention may have contributed to Kanye's decline in mental health, and thus to his fall from grace. At first, people laughed it off, thinking that Kanye is just acting up to be funny, convinced that it's all part of the role he's playing, or the character that he's portraying as an artist. His mother passed around the time when Kanye started blogging on KanyeUniversity.com and on other social media sites. Between November 22, 2007 and December 7, 2008, Kanye performed at the Glow in the Dark tour. When Entertainment Weekly rated the tour and gave it a respectable B+, Kanye went on a rant and said, "What's a B+ mean? I'm an extremist. It's either pass or fail. A+ or F-. You know what, F you and the whole effing staff. Never come to one of my shows ever again. You're not invited. And if you see me, bow." He also went on to note that only a very miserable person could have written such a misguided review. Kanye just can't handle criticism, even when it's not really critique, the type to jump you for not praising him good enough. He would not only attack critics but also snap at paparazzi. On September 11, 2008, Kanye and his bodyguard flipped out and attacked 2 photographers at LA International Airport, smashing one of their cameras in a rampage caught on videotape. He broke a $10,000 camera and was arrested on a felony vandalism charge. This incident marked the beginning of a long-lasting feud between him and paparazzi. Just 2 months later, on November 14, 2008, Kanye assaulted another paparazzo outside Newcastle's Tub Palace. He was arrested for vandalism after slapping the paparazzo and breaking a 600-pound camera. He later ranted about it on his Kanye West University blog. "Who's winning, me or the media? No matter how much light I put out, there are people working just as hard to only deliver darkness. If you listen to my music, how could I deliver so many positive, uplifting messages and be the monster that the media paints? Paparazzi give real photographers a bad name. Let us not forget that the Paps killed Princess Diana. When will there a law be passed that simply enforces that someone has to ask to take a photograph of you? That would seem like common courtesy. Right now, the Paps are above the law, and the people they shoot are below it. I put my hands up to the camera in self-defense. Here's what happened. When I left the club, I was encountered by a thirsty paparazzi as usual. He felt he has more rights to my space than me, so I put my hand up to prevent him from taking my image. I didn't assault him, but merely put my hand up to cover his lens. My security yelled, 'Get the camera off him.' I guess in all the commotion, the camera scraped his nose. His fans didn't really have an issue with him lashing out on critics and paparazzi. They always showed support and understanding. Kanye introduced a whole new demographic to hip-hop. People who have a way different music taste, using a whole different set of expectations and metrics to judge and rank rappers. There was a time when the average hip-hop head would criticize rappers like him for being too soft, too poppy, too quote-unquote commercial, not grimy enough, not hood or street enough. Cause hip-hop started as a storyteller for the streets, the voice of the voiceless, a powerful tool to express yourself, address all the struggles you and the people from your neighborhood are facing, while uplifting communities, power to the minorities, immigrants, and everyone who feels discriminated or treated like a lower-class citizen. music that expresses struggle and hardships. And for some people, Kanye's music felt too polished from the get-go, saying that he makes music for suburban white kids while distancing himself from the culture and diluting it. But this new wave of hip-hop fans didn't mind any of it. Hip-hop purists always had a problem with him. Kanye even admitted that he doesn't like rap music. He said it multiple times throughout the years. Like in November 2008, for example. "I don't even listen to rap. My apartment is too nice to listen to rap in. I have to be in a way more grimy environment to turn any rap music on."
You know, they think they're smarter than rappers, which they are smarter than most of us. And I'm one of the few rappers where people can look to and say, look at this guy. You know, it's okay to listen to rap music. So I take that responsibility. Yeah.
This of course fueled all the hip-hop purists who had a problem with him. 808s and Heartbreak being Kanye's next release made some people believe that he's turning his back on hip-hop, cause the album falls under the genre electropop. And he still feels that way. In February 2025 he said, "I don't listen to rap. I don't know who the F is rapping anymore. I'm a 47-year-old billionaire. Why the F would you listen to rap? There's not one piece of information in rap that benefits my agendas or helps me to get money." Kanye has always kinda looked down on rap music. He tried to merge it with different genres right off the gate. And that's how he was able to reach audiences that aren't really fond of traditional, quote-unquote pure rap music. That's why a lot of hip-hop purists call Kanye's music hybrid rap. That being said, the people he was able to reach with his music connect with him on a deeper level, to the point where a large percentage of them are able to forgive him for all the messed up stunts he pulled over the years. His fans were always able to disregard his flaws and outbursts. That's why to this day they're still willing to defend him. If he hadn't released all these albums they consider classics, they would have shut him down way earlier. Not just the fans, but also media outlets who understood that Kanye's craziness and the controversies surrounding him are highly profitable. That's why they kept promoting, supporting, and inviting him to all these shows. Fans today still use phrases like "separate the art from the artist" to shut down people who criticize him and his loyal fanbase that supports him regardless of what he does, which most likely enabled him and made him continue acting up and made him become the person that he is today. So the consumers of Kanye's music may have contributed to his downfall. On April 8, 2009, a South Park episode titled Fish Sticks made fun of Kanye by poking fun at him and his reputation for having an inflated ego. The show portrays him as violently frustrated when everyone laughs at a joke that he doesn't understand.
"You're a rapper."
"Yes."
"And you like fish sticks."
"Yes."
"You're a gay fish."
"No, I am not no gay fish."
The most racist thing a person could tell me is that I'm supposed to choose something based on my race. If that was the case, I wouldn't have never wore a pink polo. I wouldn't have never wear skinny jeans. Everywhere I go, people pants smaller than mine. And I'm the one who, you eat fish sticks because I have skinny jeans on.
You really don't get it.
Hey man, I'm a genius, all right? I'm the most talented musician in the world.
Choke a South Park writer with a fish stick. I insist that y'all get up off of this dick.
Do you like fish sticks?
Love them.
You're a gay fish.
No, I'm not. Ah!
After the episode aired, Kanye blogged about it saying, "South Park murdered me last night. And it's pretty damn funny. It hurts my feelings, but what can you expect from South Park?" On September 4th, 2009, Kanye went shopping in LA with his then-girlfriend Amber Rose. He pulled his car over and hopped out to remind a paparazzo to stop following him, yelling at him while blocking the roads, making everyone honk their horns.
Don't follow me.
I know, Mr. West. I'm sorry.
Don't follow me, dog.
Sorry, sir.
Don't follow me.
I know, man. It's my job.
Don't
man.
follow me.
I'm very sorry, Mr. West.
Do not follow me.
I know, sir. I know. You see, you shouldn't have went to Robertson, man. This is what happened. There's so many guys down there, man. I'm sorry, Mr. West.
9 days later, on September 13th, Kanye once again stomped the stage during an award show. It was the 2009 MTV Music Awards. Taylor Swift was in the middle of her acceptance speech, after winning in the category Best Female Video, an award Kanye claims should have gone to Beyonce for her song Single Ladies. Taylor was visibly shaken up when Kanye stomped the stage and took her mic. saying, "I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time."
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Kanye upset everyone when he did that. Even President Obama, who called him a jackass. Later that day, Beyonce actually won the award for Best Video of the Year, which made the whole rant pointless. Kanye also had a bottle of Hennessy with him, to make it obvious that he's drunk. Cause every time he acted up, bomb rushed the stage, ruined the show, or said something inappropriate, he blamed it on the alcohol, without actually trying to change his behavior. He was addicted to alcohol, and continued to show up drunk every time. So you can't call it a slip-up. It's basically part of his whole routine and lifestyle. It became a tradition for him to always show up drunk, expecting to get a free pass and special treatment just because he's intoxicated. That was always his excuse to dodge accountability. Oh, he was drunk. That explains everything. This of course enabled him and made him continue acting up, cause he basically got away with every stunt he pulled. The incident shocked many and was seen as a public outburst, leading to a lot of backlash and discussions about Kanye's behavior. It supposedly motivated him to record his next album, A Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, cause he retreated to a self-imposed exile in Hawaii shortly afterwards and recorded the album there. The cover is allegedly supposed to depict Kanye having sex with Taylor Swift, but they left it up for interpretation. The artwork was later pixelated and even replaced for the physical release. The project went to sell 496,000 copies in the first week, which is almost half the sales of his last rap album, Graduation, which sold 957,000 copies in the first week. The album prior to that, Late Registration, sold 860,000 copies. So in terms of album sales, it was slowly starting to go downhill for him. Even with all the controversy, the headlines in the news, and all the shocking publicity stunts. And musically, you could notice a decline as well. From this album on, he started relying on co-producers and dozens of writers and ghostwriters. Something that was always frowned upon in hip-hop. Cause it's an unwritten rule that rappers write their own lyrics and producers produce their own beats, without getting any help. Kanye broke both of those rules at the same time while saying that he doesn't like hip-hop. So now, hip-hop purists had even more reasons to dislike him and discredit him. The same artist that boasted about being lyrically superior to every MC has now a whole roster of writers.
I kill y'all zigging on that lyrical ish. Mayonnaise color bins, I push miracle whips. Killing y'all zigging on that lyrical ish. Mayonnaise color bins, I push miracle whips.
This is where people drew the line between the old Kanye and the new Kanye. He claimed that he's bigger than hip-hop, that he's too great of an artist to be boxed into one restrictive category. But then he went to complain that his feature guests on the album out-rapped him, even with him getting all the help from dozens of writers. Outshined on his own album by people like Rick Ross and Nicki Minaj. And he got upset that he's not the center of attention, even though he's quote-unquote bigger than hip-hop, bigger than the rest.
It was like that moment, you know, when I thought about taking Nicki's verse off of Monster, because I knew people would say that was the best verse on the best hip hop album of all time, or arguably top 10 albums of all time, right? Mm-hmm. And I would do all that work, 8 months of work on Dark Fantasy, and people to this day would say to me, oh, my favorite thing was Nicki Minaj's verse.
From that point on, Kanye always used writers and got help with his production, which was no problem for his fans. They continued enjoying his music. Kanye fans, unlike most hip-hop fans up until that point, never had an issue with MCs using ghostwriters. They treated hip-hop just like every other genre, cause most pop artists, for example, don't write their lyrics either. And they wanted hip-hop to be more like that. His hardcore fans always stuck out from regular hip-hop fans. They started to get into heated debates online about the unspoken rules of hip-hop, saying that they're outdated, claiming that Kanye revolutionized the genre and that he has the authority to change the foundation and the rules of it, the metrics on how to judge and rank MCs, if rappers using writers can ever be in the GOAT conversation. This debate is still going on to this day, as he inspired many rappers today who feel like they don't have to write their own lyrics. On February 23, 2011, Kanye found himself under fire again after publishing a late-night tweet about women having abortions. An abortion can cost a ballin' guy up to 50 G's, maybe 100. Gold-digging B-words be getting pregnant on purpose. Strap up, my guys. That was just the beginning of Kanye's unhinged Twitter rants. And this was before people started saying that Kanye lost his mind. In April 2012, Kanye started dating Kim Kardashian, someone who received wide notice after the sex tape Kim Kardashian, the Superstar, which was filmed in 2003 with her then boyfriend, singer and actor Ray J. The tape was released in 2007. He broke up with his ex-girlfriend Amber Rose, who claimed that Kanye would always bully and slut-shame her because of her promiscuous past. Kanye even stated that he had to take quote-unquote 30 showers before committing to his next relationship with Kim, as if Kim is any better. But he fell in love with her, and supposedly liked the sex tape prior to their relationship. He always had a porn addiction, and supposedly watches it everywhere he goes, even in public, in business meetings and with his friends. Some people drown themselves in drugs, and I drowned myself in my addiction, which was sex, Kanye said, talking about how he felt addicted to pornography after finding his dad's Playboy magazine at a young age. The same year he got with Kim, meaning in 2012, he even wanted to start his own porn company named after his mother Donda. He explained the idea to multiple celebrities, including Iggy Azalea. He was obsessed with porn to the point where he would force his own employees and business partners to watch it, showing them clips and videos expecting a reaction from them. And what's even crazier is that he wanted to name the company after his mother Donda to quote-unquote honor her. You have to be insane to think that naming your porn company after your deceased mother is honorable. The disrespect. Fuck out of here. Kanye's porn addiction is well documented. His mother Donda even mentioned it in her book Raising Kanye, Life Lessons from the Mother of a Hip-Hop Superstar. In May 2007, just a couple months before she passed, Kanye and his mother were invited to the Ellen DeGeneres show, where Donda talked about catching Kanye looking at porn back when he was a teenager. Kanye then proudly said, "I like porn. I can say that next to my mom. Right here. I'm a grown man. I'm 29 years old. Stop in the adult section a little bit. It's all good."
You want to be accepted as, you know, we're real people. We deal with reality. We have our flaws. We have our vices. We have different things we like. I like porn. I can say it next to my mom right here. You know? It's all good.
Kanye obviously had problems with Kim's promiscuous past. Every time someone mentioned it, he would get enraged and attack people, even when it's just a simple question about one of her exes. In October 2012, when Kanye and Kim were dating, there was another altercation with the paparazzi. One of them asked Kim about her ex Reggie Bush, which made Kanye attack the female paparazzo. On April 9th, 2013, Ray J then released a song called I Hit It First, with a pixelated image of Kim Kardashian on the cover. Just like how Kanye pixelated the cover of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which again supposedly depicted Kanye and Taylor Swift having sex. Ray J's song made fun of the fact that he slept with Kim first, that Kanye has now his leftovers. This upset Kanye a lot, and the two started beefing shortly after, with Kanye trying to find him and confront him. He was insecure about it, and it really bothered him. I mean, he should have thought of that earlier before deciding to date and then later marry her. And he even had kids with her. So it is what it is. Even though it destroyed him mentally, at the end of the day it was his decision. He should have thought of that earlier. So him getting frustrated about it really confused people, because it didn't make any sense. He was stalking Ray J's social media accounts, watching his live streams and getting triggered every time he made a snarky comment about Kim. The two then tried to sort out the beef at the airport in Los Angeles. They spent 4 hours together, with Kanye sitting on the ground asking Ray J questions, wanting to see all the sex tapes, all the messages between him and Kim. Super insecure. Ray J could tell that something is wrong with him. Dating and then later marrying Kim ruined him mentally. I mean, he was always crazy. But things got worse the longer he stayed with her. You could tell that he's unhappy. The internet made fun of him for being in love with a porn star. This of course bothered him a lot and affected his mental health, to the point that he desperately tried to prove everyone of the opposite, that he's completely unbothered, encouraging Kim to continue taking nude photos and making sexual content, just to show the world how quote-unquote secure he is, and obviously for attention. On May 10th, 2013, Kanye and Kim were just coming out of a restaurant in LA when they ran into a group of paparazzi. Kanye hit his head against a sign and then lashed out on everyone for taking pictures.
Oh! Kanye! Oh, Kanye. Kanye, you okay? You okay? You alright, Kanye? Are you okay? Stop taking pictures. Alright, dude. Don't take another photo, man. Right, don't take another photo, man. I just got here, homie. Don't take no photos. Okay. Stop it. Brother, all of you motherfuckers, stop it, man. I just got here, brother. I just got here. Leave the man alone, man. Kanye, I just got here. Leave the fucking man alone. You want me to leave? I'll leave, Kanye.
On June 15th, 2013, the couple then welcomed their first child, Northwest. 12 years later, Kanye said that he never wanted to have kids with Kim, that he regrets it, that he never wanted to build a family with her. Today, they have 4 kids together, 2 natural and 2 through surrogate mothers. And Kim is considering filing for sole custody, because she's afraid that he'll harm them, or be a bad influence to them. This is coming from a porn star, by the way, who, crazy enough, is the better parent. But yeah, back in 2012, 2013, they were thinking of aborting their first child, Northwest.
She said she was pregnant, and for 1 month, and 2 months, and 3 months, we talked about her not having this child. We love you, Kanye.
2013 was also the year when Kanye's problem with paparazzi got out of control. Every time a paparazzo shoved a camera in his face while he's minding his own business, he got into a fight with them. He threw insults at them, threatening them with physical violence, getting into arguments with vultures who would do anything to get their little 5 minutes of fame. They purposefully trolled him, knowing that it would trigger and upset him, which helped these people to go viral and make headlines. On July 12, for example, as Kanye emerged from his car and made his way into the airport, a photographer told him that he's a fan, to which Kanye responded that he shall not talk to him.
Yo, what's up, Jesus? I'm a big fan, bro. I love your work. I love your work.
I appreciate it, but don't talk.
I love your work, though. I don't want, that's fine, but don't talk to me. I don't want to hear paparazzi talk to me or anybody I know.
I'm a field reporter.
No, but don't talk to me at all. And don't talk to anyone I know at all. And tell everybody never talk to anyone that anyone knows.
I feel that.
Don't talk to themselves.
I feel that.
Don't talk ever again.
Hey, I love you, though.
That same month, Ray J made fun of him for that.
Yo,
Hey, I told you don't talk to me.
Yeah, that's getting old, Ray. Let's end this while we still like you.
Just 7 days later, on July 19th, Kanye got into a fight at the LAX airport with a persistent paparazzo asking him to chill out. Kanye then approached and assaulted him, throwing him into a headlock before hopping in the car and jetting off.
Why can't we talk to you? I mean, why? I mean, no, come on, Kanye, I don't want to fight with you. Dude, seriously, I don't want to fight with you, man. I'm just asking.
You don't talk to me, right?
But you didn't talk.
What you're trying to do is get me in trouble, so I'll still off. You have to pay you like $250,000.
No.
People were split on whether Kanye's actions were justified. Some felt like paparazzi shouldn't have the right to film people in their daily lives, following around celebrities when they want to be left alone. Others said that Kanye is in no position to silence people, to tell them where they can go, what they can film, and what they can do in their free time, as Kanye has the same rights as everybody else, blaming it all on his ego and God complex.
When someone comes up and says something like, I am a god, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a god. I just told you, that's who I think I am.
On September 26th, Kanye was on Jimmy Kimmel, addressing the fights he had with paparazzi.
The way paparazzi talk to me and my family is disrespectful also. You know what I'm saying? We bring something of joy to the world. When people hear my music, they have a good time. And I should be respected as such when I walk down the street. Don't ask me a question about something you saw in the tabloids. Don't try to antagonize me, because you know what? It's not safe for you in this zoo. You know, never think that I'm not from Chicago for 1 second.
That same night, when he returned home at 4 a.m., paparazzi were standing in front of his house filming and trolling. Kanye once again lashed out on them.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Shut the fuck up.
Relax. Nah. Come on,
What you mean relax?
We're on the street. I did nothing to you.
What you mean? What you mean relax?
You're on the street, man. You're gonna hit me. I don't do nothing to you, man.
We don't want to fight. We're in the street.
Come on,
I'm
Kanye.
gonna change all this.
Come on, Kanye. You know we like you.
Shut the fuck up.
You left
It's 4 a.m. You blood-sucking mosquito.
You left the bag right there, Kanye. I'm just here to support you.
Shut the fuck up. You bully. You think I'm a mosquito? Bully. Pick a profession and with some type of respect to it.
3 weeks later, on October 14th, Kanye was once again approached by paparazzi. At first, he told them to shut up. But later, when he came back, he taught them some manners, explaining to them how much of a nuisance they are.
Hey, Kanye. I'm on the phone. How about that? That's cool. No, shut the f*** up. I'm on the phone.
So Kanye, you think the paparazzis are giving you proper respect now? Since you're a superstar and everything?
It's not about being a superstar, it's about being a human being.
Cool.
You know, and I really appreciate that. I mean, one of these guys here was saying like some bullshit earlier, you're supposed to respect doctors. Now you gotta respect human beings, it's all good.
Sorry about the misunderstanding. And it's kind of weird. You know what? It's just kind of. You know what?
Then on November 26th, Kanye had that infamous meltdown during an interview with Sway, where he sounded like he lost his mind.
Why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Kanye.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Kanye.
I've been doing this more than you.
Doing what
You
more
ain't
than
got.
me? Come on, chill out.
You
bro.
ain't got the answers.
Kanye,
You ain't got the
Bro,
answers.
I'm asking you.
You
a
ain't been doing
question.
the education.
Bro.
You ain't been doing the education.
Kanye, calm down.
You don't have the answers though.
Calm down.
Because you trying to give me advice about something. You ain't have the answers.
I'm asking you for the answer. It's a question. You ain't got to turn up, man. This ain't no show, man.
No,
I'm talking to you as a homie.
No, it ain't no homie, man,
Hey, man,
because the thing is, the bottom line is,
man, all I'm saying, you ain't got to turn up like you ain't got to. No, hold up. You
ain't no hold up.
Listen, bro.
Ain't no hold up.
It ain't got to be no hold up. I'm asking you a question.
Ain't no hold up.
I'm asking you a
Ain't
question.
no hold up.
9 years later, he admitted that Sway had the answers all along.
So Sway, almost 10 years ago, said, man, why don't you do it on your own? Was he right?
You know what? I will go ahead and say Sway had the answer.
3 days after the Sway interview, meaning on November 29th, Kanye made some comments on The Breakfast Club which raised some eyebrows. People for the first time accused him of antisemitism. He explained Obama's inability of pushing policies in Washington, saying that it's due to the lack of connections as compared to the Jewish community.
Let me tell you something about George Bush and oil money and Obama and no money. People want to say Obama can't make these moves or he's not executing. That's because he ain't got those connections. Black people don't have the same level of connections as Jewish people. Black people don't have the same connection as oil people.
In March 2014, Kanye got 2 years probation for the assault case involving the paparazzo he put in a headlock. Then in May 24th, he got married to Kim Kardashian. It seemed like he's finally settling down, building a family and putting an end to all the chaos in his life. But then came the 2015 Grammy Awards on February 8th, where Beyonce lost to Beck in the category Album of the Year. Kanye, just like during the VMAs in 2009, rushed the stage to take the mic from the winner, but then decided against it and walked back, playing it off as a joke. He did later confirm that he was upset and thought that the award should have gone to Beyonce, even though he hadn't even listened to Beck's album yet. So just as always, forming an opinion and making decisions before actually educating himself.
I need some help. Come back.
Kanye, his wife Kim, Jay and Beyonce were laughing it off, just like most people in the crowd. But later in interviews, Kanye confirmed that he wasn't joking. Beck needs to respect artistry, and he should have given this award to Beyonce. Hypocritical as always, cause again, Kanye hadn't even listened to Beck's album. So how can you talk about respecting artistry when you didn't even do it yourself? If you had respected Beck's artistry, you would have listened to Beck's album before forming your opinion on it, before deciding that Beyonce's album is superior. Every time Kanye rushed the stage, he was completely uninformed. Practice what you preach. Respect artistry. Was it again the alcohol or was it something else? Cause in early 2015, Kanye got introduced to Nitrous Oxide, also known as laughing gas. He told Paper Magazine in its April 2015 cover story that vibing out on nitrous gas during one visit to the dentist's office made his life perspective surprisingly clearer. One time I was at the dentist's office and I was given nitrous gas, and I was vibing out. I guess that's my version of Steve Jobs and his LSD trip. During a concert in summer 2017, he explains how a few puffs of nitrous oxide had enabled him to catch a direct glimpse into heaven. The prismatic rays he described sounded as astonishing as your imagination would allow. I've heard that there are colors that are too bright for our eyes to see. He got addicted to laughing gas and it supposedly inspired him to make the song Ultralight Beam. He made the album The Life of Pablo during his addiction phase. Kanye was always the type to quickly get addicted to things. Not just nitros, but also alcohol, porn, later on opioid pills, and people used his addiction as an excuse for all the psychotic breaks throughout the years. So far, the public only knew about the porn and alcohol addiction. Every time he went on Twitter and crashed out, they blamed the alcohol. Like on February 9th, 2016 for example, 3 months after the birth of his second child, Saint West. Kanye tweeted that Bill Cosby is innocent, without providing any context, shocking the world. Cosby was found guilty of drugging and R-wording a woman at his Pennsylvania home in 2004, and was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. He even put Cosby in his next music video, which is called Famous, and was released on June 24, 2016. It features naked wax figures of celebrities, like George W. Bush, Donald Trump, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Kim Kardashian, her ex-lover Ray J, Amber Rose, Bill Cosby, and Taylor Swift, who he thinks he still might be able to sleep with, cause he quote-unquote made her famous after interrupting her speech in 2009, which is of course absolute nonsense. She wouldn't have received the award if she wasn't famous already. They also had a wax figure of Ray J in the video, who again released a sex tape with Kanye's then-wife Kim Kardashian back in 2007. He put the figure in the video to show the world that their past relationship doesn't bother him, but everyone knew that he was insecure about it. He kept bringing it up even though the tape was filmed 13 years before the music video, and he had already decided to build a family with her, but he just wouldn't let go. On October 2nd, Kanye cancelled his show after his wife Kim got robbed at gunpoint in Paris. She was the victim of a terrifying armed robbery, tied up in her hotel room, held at gunpoint, while the thieves took millions of dollars in jewelry. Kanye was in New York City at the time. His wife was hysterical and called him. Kanye then panicked and flew to Paris to make sure that she's safe. This led to him suddenly wanting to lead a much more private life. Kim had a very rough time after the robbery. Their lives were very chaotic. Kanye was also gaining a lot of weight at the time. People were making fun of him, saying that he got fat. So he was not only in shock because of the Paris incidents, but also insecure because of his weight. And in order to quote-unquote please his fans and look good for them, he got liposuction.
2 days before I was in the hospital, I was on opioids. I was addicted to opioids. I had plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all. I got liposuction because I didn't want y'all to call me fat like y'all called Rob at the wedding and made him fly home before me and Kim got married. I didn't want y'all to call me fat, so I got liposuction.
The liposuction came with a prescription for painkillers. That was followed by addiction and a mental breakdown on stage during the St. Pablo tour concert in Sacramento. Cause on November 19th, 2016, he stopped the show after barely performing 3 songs to go on a 15-minute rant about how Google, MTV, Facebook, and the radio lied, and how they promote and play the wrong artists, saying F you to all of them, that he's on his Trump shit, and that he's going to expose everybody, asking DJ Khaled and Jay-Z, the guy who basically gave birth to his career by letting him produce beats for his album The Blueprint in 2001, to not send shooters at him for saying things that they don't want to hear. Like, for example, how Jay's wife, Beyonce, supposedly refused to perform at the 2016 MTV Music Awards, which had taken place 3 months prior on August 28th, if she wouldn't win the award for her song Formation in the category Video of the Year over Drake's Hotline Bling and Kanye West's Famous, which again only features naked bodies of celebrities. Kanye wanted to get an award for that, and felt like Beyonce shouldn't have asked MTV to give her the award over Kanye, especially after he risked his career at the 2009 MTV Music Awards, where he interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech to say that Beyonce should have won instead. He felt betrayed, saying that he's hurt by Beyonce's comments and that her husband Jay-Z shall not send his shooters to come kill him, just because Kanye exposed her, provoking and disrespecting not only Jay's wife but also Jay-Z himself, by telling him that he shall call him like a man instead of sending killers, adding that he's making these comments at the risk of his own life, his safety and his own career. On stage, he also hinted that he's a Trump supporter, by saying that they're going to make America great again, one of Trump's political slogans. He also put Obama, Hillary Clinton and Jay-Z in the same category, while saying that they're the past, and that he and Trump are the future. Then he abruptly ended the show and cancelled the remaining dates of the St. Pablo tour, which consisted of about a dozen stops in different cities in the US. He got booed by thousands of people, and they ridiculed him online. The reason they gave for the cancellation was Kanye's exhaustion, saying that he's been working around the clock on fashion designs as well as touring. The overload of work had kept him apart from Kim and his 2 children, North and St. West, which supposedly had been taking a toll on him, especially following the Paris robbery. After the rant on stage, Kanye was hospitalized in LA on November 21st, 2016, for stress, exhaustion, hallucinations and paranoia, following several chaotic days on tour. While the episode was first described as one of temporary psychosis caused by dehydration and sleep deprivation, his mental state was abnormal enough for his 21 cancelled concerts to be covered by his insurance policy. Reports later claimed that he underwent psychiatric evaluation after quote-unquote acting erratically. Emergency crews were heard describing the incident as a psychiatric emergency. He was reportedly paranoid and depressed throughout the hospitalization, but remained formally undiagnosed. Some have speculated that the Paris robbery of his wife may have triggered the paranoia. Prior to his hospitalization, Kanye and his personal trainer Harley Pasternak, who was in charge of keeping an eye on his physical and mental health, had a heated back and forth with Kanye via text, with Kanye continuing to blabber nonsense like he did on stage, and supposedly insulting him for being worried about him. To which the trainer responded with a long text that later got leaked and was used by Kanye and his fans to convince the world that there are people who are trying to silence him, drug him up and keep him under control for spreading the truth, turning his psychotic break into a conspiracy. And this is an angle Kanye will continue to use to dodge accountability and to deflect from the fact that his psychotic and chaotic outbursts and rants are harmful, not only for the people he's accusing, but also for his followers who are getting deceived into believing all the nonsense that he's spreading. Nah, I'm not having a mental breakdown and spouting nonsense because I'm a bipolar narcissistic freak who has lost his mind. They just want to silence me and make me look bad because I'm the only one speaking the truth. So he's turning this whole thing into something heroic that his fans can admire him for, unknowingly enabling him by showing him support. The personal trainer called him out on his BS and wanted to give him the help he needed. But Kanye wouldn't listen, so this is what he told him before making the 911 call to get him help. I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words, and everything that is discussed is based in fact, and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to Zombieland forever. Playdate with the kids just won't be the same. He's trying to help him, while reminding him that he still has responsibilities as a father of two, that he's endangering not only himself but also his children, telling him to think about his kids. But Kanye and his fans misinterpreted what he said and took it as a threat, thinking that they're trying to institutionalize him for quote-unquote falling out of line, making it seem like Kanye is Neo in the Matrix, trying to break out, while the agents are trying to keep him under control. So his cult-like fanbase fell for the things that Kanye was claiming, thinking that the government and certain organizations try to keep him in check for quote-unquote breaking out of the Matrix, and putting out information that they don't want the public to know, trying to forcefully turn him into a well-behaved person, or a quote-unquote sheep, a pawn, a bot who just does what he's told to do, when in reality it was just one of his many mental breakdowns. He's just a guy that makes music, nothing else. Just a drug addict with main character syndrome. He later blamed it on his addiction to opioids, saying that 2 days before he was taken to the hospital, meaning the day he ranted on stage, he was on opioids after undergoing a previously unreported liposuction surgery.
I was drugged the fuck out, bro. I was drugged out. I was on opioids. 2 days after I got off of opioids, and I was addicted to opioids, 2 days I got off of opioids, I'm in the hospital.
After a week and a half at the medical center, where he was under heavy medical supervision, Kanye was released on November 30th. He continued treatment for undisclosed mental health issues, and the living arrangements between Kanye and Kim remained complicated. He is receiving outpatient care somewhere else with a medical team, said a source. Kim still seems concerned but is supportive. Almost 2 weeks later, on December 13th, 2016, Kanye paid a visit to Donald Trump at the Trump Towers in New York, shortly after his hospital visit, which didn't sit well with his fans and peers. He dyed his hair blonde and showed his full support for Trump, saying that he loves him and his movement Make America Great Again. He even started wearing the MAGA hat. I wanted to meet with Trump today to discuss multicultural issues. It's important to have a direct line of communication with our future president if we truly want change. Adding that Trump inspired racists to reveal themselves, saying that he would have voted for Trump in the 2016 elections. While both Kanye and Kim received individual therapy, he also got help for depression and learning how to cope better with stress, while Kim dealt with trauma from the Paris robbery. On January 6, 2017, it was revealed that Kim and Kanye mended their relationship with Jay-Z and Beyonce after that long rant during the St. Pablo tour in November 2016. They said that Jay forgave him, that he handled it maturely. Kanye and Kim were on the verge of breaking up due to their own traumas and issues, but they managed to resolve them and decided to have a third child via surrogate. A year later, on January 15, 2018, they then welcomed their daughter Chicago West. On May 1, 2018, Kanye released an interview on his YouTube channel where he opened up about his mental health in a 2-hour-long interview with radio host Charlamagne tha God. A day later, in an interview with TMZ, Kanye made the most outrageous and controversial comments of his career by saying that slavery was a choice.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real.
This comment was widely criticized and sparked controversy. A lot of people, including myself, thought he destroyed his own career after making that comment. I mean, how do you come back from a statement like that? People didn't know if he'll once again be able to get away with it, as always. Thinking that if he does somehow come back from this, who knows what he will be able to get away with next. People were still bumping his music and encouraging his behavior. What more can he say until people finally have enough? Kanye later attempted to clarify his statements, but it contributed to ongoing concerns about his mental health. Exactly 1 month later, on June 1st, he released the album Yay, which he recorded after his comments about slavery. It was later revealed that he wanted to name this album after Adolf Hitler. as he was obsessed with Hitler's ideas, but he was advised against it and kept it for himself. On the cover it says, "I hate being bipolar. It's awesome," referencing his bipolar diagnosis in 2016, which on October 11th, 2018, he labeled as a misdiagnosis, but then in 2019 claimed to be true. But then in 2022 suggested that it's indeed a misdiagnosis. So he flip-flopped multiple times. One day he's bipolar, the next he's not. Now he's claiming to be autistic. There are countless articles on bipolar disorder, which suggests that it can lead to dramatic shifts in a person's mood, energy, and ability to think clearly. Alternating periods of mania and depression. Maniac moods, characterized by a euphoric but outsized sense of self-confidence. Erratic behavior. Anything from jumping from one idea to another, false beliefs or false perceptions, and an exaggerated, puffed-up self-esteem, which describes him perfectly, with songs like "I Am a God" and statements such as "I am the greatest human artist of all time." On the album, he even called his bipolar disorder his superpower. So yeah, he checks all the boxes when it comes to symptoms of bipolar disorder. On June 29th, 2018, the rapper Drake dropped his album Scorpion, which contained a song called "In My Feelings," which is about a girl Drake called Kiki. Many people speculated if he could be talking about Kanye's wife Kim Kardashian, cause the two were beefing back then. So rumors spread of Kim having cheated on Kanye with Drake, which of course upset Ye a lot. He even ranted about it on Twitter. The fact that people are making rumors and thinking that you effed my wife, and you're not saying anything, and you are carrying it well like that, don't sit well with my spirit. You know, if I had a girlfriend from Chicago and her name was Juanita, and you were married to Rihanna, I would make a song called Riri. So when you're like, "Oh, I don't know where it comes from," you're too smart for that, bro. You know where it came from. Implying that Drake purposefully rapped about Kiki, knowing that it would spark rumors about an affair between Kim and Drake, just to hurt Kanye, who's already having mental problems. Kim hopped on Instagram to deny all the rumors, saying, "Never happened. End of story." Kanye later claimed that Drake slept with Kim's mother, Kris Jenner, and he even slept with Kim's half-sister, Kylie Jenner. That really upset him, cause he thought that Drake is purposefully sleeping with half of Kim's family tree, just to put him in his place. And it still bothers him a lot, to the point where Kanye constantly tries to reignite the beef, even after squashing it 50 times. One day they make peace, and the next Kanye's insecurities lead him to lash out on him on Twitter. So the beef probably affected his mental health as well. On August 9th, he then returned to the Jimmy Kimmel Show and was confronted about his love and allegiance to Trump, asking him what it is that makes him think that Donald Trump cares about black people. Cause again, Kanye went on live television a decade prior to say that George Bush doesn't care about black people. Kanye was unable to respond, prompting Jimmy to order the show to take a commercial break.
You so famously and so powerfully said George Bush doesn't care about black people. It makes me wonder what makes you think that Donald Trump does, or any people at all. Why don't we take a break? We'll come back, and Kanye West.
He then opened up about his mental health in the July 2019 issue of the Forbes magazine. Crazy is a word that's not gonna be used loosely in the future. Understand that this is actually a condition that people can end up in, be born into, driven into, and go in and out. And there's a lot of people that have been called the C word that have ended up on this cover. He also added that during a manic episode, everything can feel like a conspiracy. You feel like the government is putting chips in your head. You feel you're being recorded. You feel all these things. In 2019, Kanye completely dedicated himself to Christianity. He felt reborn, distanced himself from his past actions, and wanted to start fresh. He would host Sunday services, holding 1-hour sessions every Sunday at different locations playing gospel music. On October 25th, Kanye then released his 9th studio album Jesus is King, which follows a Christian theme, a gospel hip-hop album with no cursing, a full project about his faith in God. In stark contrast from previous works, which were the complete opposite of what he described as an expression of the gospel. And it's ironic because how can you call yourself a man of God when you have committed and continue to commit the 7 deadly sins in Christianity all at the same time? Pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. Pride because of his narcissism, ego, and God complex. Greed because he's ripping off his fans. This started back in 2013 when he sold a plain white shirt for $120, even though it only cost a couple bucks in production. He's always been known for overpricing merch, but a plain white shirt for $120 is crazy. Then also the whole thing about the album Donda 2, which he released a couple years later. He expected his fans to pay $200 for an unfinished album, and it was only available on a device called StemPlayer. Wrath because of his violent outbursts, whether it's in public with paparazzi or on social media, especially after the whole Nazi thing, saying that he'll go DEFCON 3 on Jews. I will touch on that in a minute. Envy because he can't accept the fact that someone is doing better than him. Every time he loses during an award show, he can't accept it and throws a tantrum, attacking and envying the winner, calling out the whole show, saying it's unfair. He can't stand having less than others. He went on a 15-minute rant in 2016 during the St. Pablo tour, showing his jealousy for people who get more airplay than him.
Oh yeah, I'm on my Trump shit tonight. Radio, fuck you. MTV, fuck you. Once again, as always, I'm on my Trump shit tonight.
Lust, obviously because of his porn addiction, him wanting to start his own porn company, dating one promiscuous, over-sexualized woman after another while showing off their naked bodies to the world, watching porn during business meetings and in the studio, even showing it to others against their will, like Nicki Minaj for example. She said the only thing Kanye had on his computer was porn. Gluttony, obviously because of his weight gain, his overindulgence and overconsumption of things that are considered addictive. I mean, he's been dealing with multiple addictions throughout the years, like opioid pills, alcohol, and nitrous oxide. And then the last deadly sin, sloth. Kanye is known for delaying projects and failing to deliver on promised release dates. From Life of Pablo to Yandhi to Jesus is King to Donda, and even recently with World War III. He even cancelled entire albums and failed to deliver. Projects like Yandhi, which never got released officially, Jesus is King 2, Donda 2, and more recently Vultures 3. And a lot of his more recent projects sound unfinished, half-baked and lazy in terms of production, lyrics and song concepts. He also started using AI for his vocals, instead of recording his own verses. But yeah, a lot of people knew that he didn't really take his faith seriously, and that it was just a phase. Possibly just an act to regain some sympathy after those destructive comments, like slavery was a choice. Jesus is King was definitely Kanye's worst album up until that point. The previous album, Ye, was already a downgrade compared to the 2016 release, The Life of Pablo. But it seemed like it was only going downhill for him from that point on. Not just in terms of mental health, but also artistically. He would release multiple trash albums back to back, while thinking that they're all masterpieces. I already mentioned most of them when talking about the 7 deadly sins. Gone were the days of Kanye dropping classics. In January 2020, Kanye opened up about his past alcohol addiction, calling himself a functioning alcoholic, blaming his addiction on his disappointment at not being nominated for certain awards in the past decade. It's good that we found out about all those award shows that partially led me to alcoholism. Imagine My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Watch the Throne being eligible the same year, and neither of them being nominated for Album of the Year. Imagine doing The Life of Pablo and driving down the road and never hearing none of those songs on the radio, and your wife and your daughter are in the car. His alcohol addiction got out of control in the 2010s, most likely caused by his decline in mental health over the years. He would start drinking vodka early in the morning, but in 2020 he announced that he quit drinking. Kanye supposedly got frustrated by all the new names in hip-hop, cause they would take a spotlight not only with their youthful energy, but also through crazy publicity stunts and clout chasing. Things that Kanye was famous for in the early days of the internet, before social media. He was the main guy making headlines with his craziness, while using the internet to grow his fanbase and promote his music. But now we have a whole new generation of natural-born clout chaser turned rappers, who are just as crazy as Kanye. So now he had to compete with all of them, while having a family. Those kids didn't have much to lose. They could wild out and go crazy. But Kanye was in his 40s now. The new guys could make use of Kanye's formula and blow up on social media and YouTube. Becoming popular was now easier than ever. People would go viral every other week using Kanye's blueprint, with Kanye losing more and more relevance over the years, and him feeling like he has to compete with the younger generation, not just with his music, but also in terms of social media presence. He was supposedly afraid of getting left behind. So that could be an explanation for Kanye's crazy publicity stunts, which got worse and worse every year. On July 4th, 2020, Kanye went on Twitter and announced his intention to run for president of the United States. The announcement was followed by a bizarre rally in South Carolina, 2 weeks later on July 19th, where Kanye made a series of erratic statements, revealing deeply personal details about his family and his views on abortion. At this point in time, there was increasing concern about his mental health, with many speculating that his bipolar disorder was affecting his behavior. He was wearing a bulletproof vest and had shaved 2020 into his head. He gave an emotional and hysterical speech, making eyebrow-raising statements criticizing Harriet Tubman, saying that she never actually freed the slaves, that she just had them work for other white people.
Well, Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leave it right now.
He emphasized the issue of abortion and cried, describing his father's plan to abort him as an unborn baby.
My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy. Hey.
We love you, Kanye.
In the midst of his campaign, Kanye's erratic behavior intensified on social media, where he made disturbing posts about his family, particularly his wife, Kim Kardashian, and their children. These moments were deeply concerning to his fans, leading to speculation about his mental health. Cause 2 days after his first campaign speech, meaning on July 20th, 2020, Kanye went on Twitter and said that he's been trying to get divorced from Kim. Added that she tried to bring a doctor to lock him up, while also criticizing his wife for a sex tape with Ray J. Kim was trying to fly to Wyoming with a doctor to lock me up, like on the movie Get Out, because I cried about saving my daughter's life yesterday. I put my life on the line for my children, that North's mother would never sell her sex tape, which again is hypocritical, cause he's the one that encouraged her to do nude photo shoots. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. Should have thought of that earlier before having kids with her. And he's been making her walk around with see-through clothing, letting her show off her naked body after the pregnancies. Now all of a sudden it's an issue. Kim then spoke out on her Instagram story. As many of you know, Kanye has bipolar disorder. Anyone who has this, or has a loved one in their life who does, knows how incredibly complicated and painful it is to understand. I have never spoken publicly about how this has affected us at home, because I am very protective of our children and Kanye's right to privacy when it comes to himself. But today I feel like I should comment on it because of the stigma and misconceptions about mental health. Those who are close to Kanye know his heart and understand his words sometimes do not align with his intentions. 5 months later, however, Kim announced that she's preparing to divorce Kanye.
Told her she could leave me now, but she wouldn't leave.
I know you wouldn't leave.
He knows that she's done. She has had enough, and she told him that she wants some space to figure out her future. He's okay. He's sad, but okay. He knows the inevitable will happen. And he knows that it's coming soon. On September 16th, 2020, Kanye had another meltdown on Twitter, sharing a video of himself urinating on a Grammy Awards, which he had placed in a toilet. He posted the video on Twitter as part of a larger message about a struggle with music ownership and contracts. He wrote, "Trust me, I won't stop." But Twitter stopped him, as the account was locked until he removed a tweet with a screen cap of Randall Lane's cell phone number, encouraging his fans to reach out to the Forbes editor. On November 4th, he conceded his campaign, the morning after Election Day, after receiving only 70,000 votes. A lot of people on the internet made fun of him for that. But it's mind-blowing that a maniac like him still got votes. 70,000 people who wouldn't mind Kanye becoming the most powerful person on the planet. He expressed interest in running again in 2024. On February 19th, 2021, Kim officially filed for divorce from Kanye, after months of public tension and speculation. They share 4 kids together, and by March the couple was no longer on speaking terms. But that July and August, Kim supported Kanye at his Donda listening events for his new album. In October, comedian Pete Davidson and Kanye's wife Kim shared a kiss in an Aladdin-themed SNL sketch. The two are seen together and rumored to be dating a month later in November. The divorce was still not finalized. Legally, it only came to an end a whole year later on November 29th, 2022. So while they were still technically married, Kim was dating Kanye's friend Pete, which of course made him feel betrayed. Not only that, but according to Charlemagne the God, Kanye called him screaming about Pete in November 2021, saying, "My wife is out there effing a white boy with a 10-inch penis, and you won't help me? My wife is out there effing a white boy with a 10-inch penis, and you're telling me that's your friend? But you are supposed to be the culture." So he was supposedly yelling at people after finding out that Pete is dating his wife. In December 2021, Kim filed documents requesting to be legally single. He then purchased a home across the street from his wife's Hidden Hill estate, reportedly to be closer to his children. Kanye tried to fight for his marriage and stop her from becoming legally single. Kim then claimed that Kanye is stalking her and trying to catch her and Pete together to beat him up. On January 15th, 2022, Kanye then released a song called Easy with rapper The Game. The cover featured a dead skinned monkey. Only a sick, twisted maniac like Kanye would find something like this amusing. On the song, he said,
"God sent me from that crash just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass."
referencing the car crash in 2002. Shortly after that, Kanye claimed that he was blocked from seeing his kids at Kim's home because Pete Davidson was there. Pete then hired more security for himself, because he was afraid that Kanye would be crazy enough to physically harm him, just like in the first music video of the song. Both Kim and Pete sent Kanye multiple text messages asking him to stop out of fear for their safety, cause Kanye even encouraged his fans to go yell at him. "If anyone loves me and my family, if you see Skeet in real life, scream at the loser at the top of your lungs and say, Kim Ye forever." Kanye was losing his mind over him, posting pictures of Pete and MGK in underwear, saying, "No, you will never see my children." Or a picture of him and Pete together with the caption, "I just wanted my friend to have my back. The knife just goes in deeper." Kanye fans flooded Pete's Instagram, calling him Skeet and telling him to find God, harassing him to the point that he actually deleted his Instagram account. Kanye even wanted to do a charity boxing match against Pete, saying, "There are two kinds of people on my team and losers." On February 23rd, 2022, Kanye then released his album Donda 2, exclusively on a device called Stem Player, which costs around $200. The album was not only unfinished, but also terrible and overpriced. You can't find one person on the internet who thinks that paying $200 for the album is justified. Who would pay $200 for his worst album? It was not eligible for entry on the Billboard charts. People labeled it as his worst album yet, even worse than Jesus is King. On March 4th, Kanye dropped another music video for the song Easy, in which he kidnaps and decapitates Pete Davidson, showing off his decapitated head like a trophy. People saw it as a death threat. 9 days later, on March 13th, Pete and Kanye went back and forth in DMs, with Pete telling him to calm down, bragging about being in bed with Kim, sending him a picture of himself naked in bed, offering to help him with his mental issues, complaining about Kanye pressing him for the past 6 months. And Kanye was enraged when he saw the pictures. Pete really knows how to trigger people. In August, Pete and Kim broke up, and Kanye was happy about it, even though it was obvious that Pete wouldn't have stayed with her for long. I mean, why would a celebrity in his 20s get serious with a porn star in her 40s that can't have kids? So he obviously only wanted to sleep with her and keep her around until he gets bored. Now he can move on to someone younger. I mean, that's what Kanye did after divorcing Kim. Cause Bianca was in her 20s too. So the snake, Pete Davidson, won in the end. He got what he wanted. But Kanye was on social media celebrating his supposed victory, trolling Pete by announcing his death. In September 2022, Kanye opened an unaccredited Christian private school called Donda Academy, named after his late mother, Donda West. The school enrolled about 100 students and employed 16 teachers. It's worth to note that none of Kanye's 4 children ever attended that school or were ever planned on attending. 2 of the former teachers filed a lawsuit against the school, saying that they were unjustly fired without any reason, after complaining about health and safety violations, alleging that the academy had unusual rules and requirements. Crossword puzzles, coloring sheets, utensils, and chairs were disallowed, meaning they were not allowed to sit on chairs, just because Kanye has a problem with chairs. Students could not wear jewelry and clothing made by Nike or Adidas. Instead, they were forced to dress in black Balenciaga uniforms designed by Kanye. No color or artwork was allowed in classrooms, and all cups and balls were required to be gray. He did not allow classes on the 2nd floor because of fear of stairs. Students were only allowed to eat sushi on the floor, forcing kids to eat raw fish on the floor. The school did not have tables or chairs. Outside food was disallowed. There were no janitorial services and no school nurse. Kanye also banned the use of cleaning chemicals and trash cans, so the floor the kids were forced to eat on wasn't even cleaned properly. He also wanted to shave the heads of all the students, male or female. He locked kids in cages for misbehaving, while he himself went on temper tantrums threatening to beat up his employees for not doing what they're told. So every time the employees felt bad for mistreating the kids, Kanye would lash out on them and force them to do what they're told. He also supposedly compared himself to Hitler, saying that he's quote-unquote Hitler minus the gas chambers. They also accused him of calling out black people in a discriminatory way, while giving preferential treatment to white employees and praising Hitler countless times, pushing employees to do renovations without permits, and telling them that they could be fired for being fat. Then on October 3rd, Kanye wore a White Lives Matter shirt at Paris Fashion Week. Candace Owens was there too, wearing a matching white shirt with the same text. White Lives Matter is a white supremacist slogan that emerged as a reaction to the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's used to promote white supremacy. Kanye defended his actions by claiming that Black Lives Matter was a scam, and that his decision to wearing the shirt was simply to inform white people that their lives matter too. And Kanye was known for his problematic statements about race. Like mentioned earlier, in 2018 he said, 400 years of slavery in the US sounds like a choice. He has repeatedly engaged in provocative behaviors that have been disrespectful to the black community. It was the start of the most disgraceful chapter of Kanye's life. He and Diddy even went back and forth in DMs, with Diddy, out of all people, being the level-headed, mature and righteous one, saying, "I'm just trying to talk to you as a black man, and I'm talking to you because this is hurting our people. Stop." Asking Kanye to stop with the White Lives Matter nonsense. But Kanye responded, "Anything you text, I will post. I love you, and you guys are breaking my heart. I accept your apology in advance. Diddy then said, as soon as I land, we'll meet face to face. Send me an address. To which Kanye responded, F you, you fat. Puffy then said, send me an address. Let's stop playing these internet games. And don't feel threatened. You'll be fine. Just love. To which Kanye responded, this ain't a game. I'ma use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me. I told you this is war. Now gon' get you some business. Kanye was then suspended from Instagram. On October 7th, Kanye's mental health came into further focus when he made multiple anti-Semitic comments on social media, leading to his suspension not only from Instagram but also from Twitter. They restricted his IG account after his back and forth with Diddy. So he went on Twitter to slam Mark Zuckerberg, tweeting, how you gonna kick me off Instagram? Elon Musk then responded, welcome back to Twitter, my friend. Elon Musk was in the process of purchasing Twitter. This would only enable Kanye and let him go crazy without any repercussions. And Elon Musk allowed Kanye to say whatever he wanted about the Jews. The same Elon Musk who in January 2025 made a Nazi salute while celebrating US President Donald Trump's second inauguration. The same Elon Musk who urged Germans to vote for the AfD, which is a far-right, right-wing political party in Germany. We've been dealing with those Nazis for a while now. They've only grown in terms of popularity. So my family is trying to leave the country now. Elon Musk supporting Kanye's whole Nazi phase is not surprising to me. But yeah, that same night between October 7th and October 8th, Kanye made a series of posts on Twitter, ranting for a whole night. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Claiming, I actually can't be anti-Semitic, because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. These comments, along with his continued controversial behavior, sparked widespread condemnation and led to significant professional and personal fallout, including the loss of lucrative partnerships with companies like Adidas. His comments were not only harmful, but they also further alienated him from his supporters, many of whom had once viewed him as a voice of artistic expression. The backlash was swift and the repercussions were severe. Kanye had once again crossed the line that many believed would be impossible to come back from. Twitter then locked Kanye's account due to a violation of Twitter policies, and the DEFCON 3 tweet was removed. On October 11th, a report from Vice News revealed that Kanye expressed quote-unquote numerous anti-Semitic sentiments in his Tucker Carlson interview that were cut from the broadcast, as well as other bizarre statements, including that, quote, professional actors were placed into his house to sexualize his kids. A day later, the talk show The Shop with LeBron James said that it won't air an episode with Kanye because he used it to quote-unquote reiterate more hate speech and extremely dangerous stereotypes. 4 days later, on October 16th, he appeared on the Drink Champs podcast for a more than 3-hour-long interview, where he made even more anti-Semitic comments, once again saying that he's been targeted by Jewish people and Zionists, talking about quote-unquote Jewish business secrets and Jewish Zionists, while claiming that Jewish people owned the black voice. He expressed confidence that Adidas will not end its business relationship with him. I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me, he said.
I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what? Now what?
He also falsely claimed that George Floyd, who was killed in police custody in 2020, actually died from fentanyl.
They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that.
The podcast episode was later removed, and Nori issued an apology to everyone. A day later, on October 17th, Kanye spoke with former CNN host Chris Cuomo in a contentious interview in which he said that he doesn't believe in the term antisemitism, claiming that he's being attacked by the quote-unquote Jewish underground media mafia. Cuomo repeatedly condemned Ye during the interview, telling him that his comments are ugly, inherently anti-Semitic, and damaging to decency.
Go ahead. Every celebrity has Jewish people in their contract. This is not hate speech. This is the truth. And these people, if you say anything out of the line with the agenda, then your career could be over.
Listen,
So
I hear you. You've made that point.
Cutting off my point.
Because the
I love
point
you,
is
sir.
because
why
it's
do
a,
you keep why?
Yeah,
Yo, sir,
here's why.
Don't cut me off, sir. Respect my
I
point.
listened to it. You've made it several times.
No, I'm not finished, sir.
I
You're
understand,
look,
but
I'm
you've
not
said
finished,
it
sir.
several times.
I'm not
and
finished,
it is
sir.
an
But my
ugly
people haven't
thought.
heard me.
On October 21st, Kanye gave a 100-minute interview to Piers Morgan, in which he said that he's absolutely not sorry for his anti-Semitic comments.
I didn't say DEFCON on anybody though.
You said DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, specifically Jewish people. You didn't say any particular Jewish person. You said basically all of them. That is racism, Ye. And I think if you were honest with yourself, given the fallout from this, you would think again about how you phrased that sentence. Because actually, you didn't mean all Jewish people.
Given the fallout.
Do you care about the
What
hurt you
fallout?
cause Jewish people?
What fallout?
Kanye then got support from neo-Nazis in LA, who hung a banner over the highway saying, "Kanye is right about the Jews." People started writing graffiti with a swastika and the phrase "Kanye is right" on buildings and Jewish cemeteries. They were vandalizing properties to show their support for Kanye and their hatred towards the Jews. Then on October 25th, after Kanye bragged about Adidas being incapable of dropping him, Adidas terminated their partnership with him, and his net worth, according to Kanye himself, went down to $120 million, claiming that Adidas froze his bank accounts after suing him for $275 million. He got dropped by brands, his music was removed from streaming platforms, his documentary was scrapped, and his business partnerships evaporated. And 2 days later, on October 27th, Kanye's private school, Donda Academy, was abruptly closed down, so the school was only open for 1 month. That same day, a report from CNN stated that Kanye, quote-unquote, has long been fascinated by Adolf Hitler, and even wanted to name his 2018 album after him, before changing it to Ye. He would praise Hitler by saying how incredible it was that he was able to accumulate so much power, and would talk about all the great things he and the Nazi Party achieved for the German people. That's what a business executive who worked for Kanye told CNN. This lined up with a previous claim from former TMZ employee Van Lathan, who in 2018 alleged that he heard Kanye saying that he loved Hitler and the Nazis, that he was fascinated by him, that he read his biography and kept talking about him. Kanye then returned to Instagram claiming that he lost $2 billion in 1 day, adding, "This is love speech." On November 2nd, NBC News reported that Kanye settled with a former employee who alleged he, quote-unquote, praised Hitler or Nazis in business meetings. An allegation that Kanye initially denied but then later confirmed. The report also says that 6 sources who have either worked with him or witnessed him in professional environments during the past 5 years have quote-unquote heard him mention conspiracy theories about Jewish people or praise Hitler. One former employee alleged in 2018 that Kanye said that Hitler had some good qualities and wasn't all bad. He would say, "I even love Hitler," and then he would pause for reactions, seeing how people are reacting. 2 days later, on November 4th, Kanye compared the term anti-Semitic to the N-word. On November 20th, Kanye returned to Twitter posting "Shalom" to see if he's still blocked. The tweet was liked by Twitter CEO Elon Musk, who also tweeted, "Don't kill what Ye hates, save what Ye love." 2 days later, on November 22nd, The Guardian reported that Kanye supposedly showed explicit photos of his former wife Kim Kardashian to employees at Adidas. They labeled it as quote-unquote intimidation tactics. Pictures of his now ex-wife naked, just to quote-unquote manipulate people and to assert dominance. He was the one that encouraged Kim to continue doing naked photo shoots, showing off the naked body of his then wife. He later continued doing the same thing with Bianca, who people labeled as a Kim Kardashian lookalike. He started dating her a couple months later in 2013, making her walk naked in public for everyone to see. Things that no sane man would ever do. He somehow draws pleasure from exposing his wives. He later even said, "Pornography destroyed my family. I deal with the addiction." On November 25th, Kanye had dinner with Donald Trump and white nationalist Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes, which got media attention and criticism from all around the world. Then 3 days later, on November 28th, Kanye together with Nick Fuentes were interviewed by podcaster Tim Pool, but stormed out only 20 minutes in after Kanye got offended that Tim is not throwing Jewish people under the bus. Because he said, "I think they've been extremely unfair to you," showing Kanye sympathy. To which Kanye responded, "Who is they though?" expecting Tim to say, "the Jews." But he didn't want to say it, which made Kanye storm off the set, even though Tim tried to show understanding and sympathy.
Yeah, I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who is they though? We can't say they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking about.
It is them though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? You leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone.
On December 1st, Kanye then appeared on the far-right conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's show and repeatedly made shocking anti-Semitic comments, including denying the Holocaust and openly praising Hitler. "I like Hitler," Kanye said. "I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. The Holocaust is not what happened. Let's look at the facts of that. And Hitler has a lot of redeeming qualities."
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things. I like Hitler.
I don't like Hitler. And I know you're trying to be shocking with that.
I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. I see good things about Hitler also. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table. Especially Hitler. Yeah, I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at.
Oh my goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. Look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Jones appeared taken aback by Kanye's open praise of Hitler, asking him if he's trolling. But he reiterated he believes that Hitler, quote-unquote, seems like a cool guy, and falsely claims he, quote-unquote, didn't kill 6 million Jews. Kanye faced widespread backlash for the interview, which is seen as a significant escalation of his prior anti-Semitic rhetoric, and also appears to confirm earlier reports that he has privately expressed admiration of Hitler. The Republican Jewish coalition condemned the quote-unquote horrific cesspool of dangerous, bigoted Jew hatred, and called Kanye a vile, repellent bigot. Later that evening, Kanye tweeted an image combining a Jewish Star of David with a swastika, leading him to be suspended from the platform. Backlash to Kanye's pro-Hitler statements continued with President Biden weighing in on December 2nd. Biden tweeted, "I just want to make a few things clear. The Holocaust happened. Hitler was a demonic figure. And instead of giving it a platform, our political leaders should be calling out and rejecting anti-Semitism wherever it hides. Silence is complicity." 3 days later, on December 5th, Kanye decided to do another interview with Gavin McInnes, where he said that Jewish people should, quote-unquote, forgive Hitler, while also comparing porn to the Holocaust, and admitting that his love for Hitler helps his campaign. In 2023, Kanye was seen attempting to revitalize his brand and career, but it was clear that his reputation would never fully recover. On August 28th, he was once again caught with his pants down. Literally. He was on a boat ride in Venice, Italy, with his new wife Bianca, who gave him oral on the boat with people taking pictures. This is the same man who wanted to open his own church. He tried to convince the world that he had a come-to-Jesus moment, and that he'll be a devout Christian from now on, saying that he regrets his past. But he's back, more perverted and weird than ever, having sex in public in broad daylight, with hundreds of people, including the captain, staring at them. Some outfits worn by Bianca ever since he got married to Kanye have been controversial for being provocative and revealing. Some of the standout looks included a skin-tight bodysuit with a condom-inspired head covering, and outfits that are completely see-through. Kanye said in meetings with Bianca being almost completely naked, she was looking visibly uncomfortable, and everybody was staring at her. On December 15th, Kanye then went on another rant on IG about Jewish people.
Y'all can't tell me no, none of y'all motherfuckers here with no Instagram, nobody living, nobody at, and I don't want to hear shit from none of these niggas Jewish niggas talk about, oh, he's in an episode. Oh, these niggas, bro. Niggas, you know what I'm saying? I'm on my Farrakhan Don ish right now, bro. Because guess what? These Yeezys gonna sell. They sabotaged the show today. They sabotaged the Instagram. They cut off the Adidas contract. They did all this shit. Then they want to go get light skin Ye. They want the light skin version. They want a George Floyd. They want a Virgil. They don't let me speak at the funeral.
In January 2024, Kanye revealed a daring set of titanium grills worth $850,000. His wife Bianca is supposedly disgusted, not only by the look of the teeth, but also by his bad breath, which is a side effect of the titanium grill. Bianca complained about it to all her friends. She tells him what he wants to hear, that his grill looks good and sexy, and makes him look really manly. But the truth is, she's disgusted by the way the teeth look. She has told her friends what a turnoff it is. Putting her lips, let alone her tongue, anywhere near his metal stubs makes her want to gag. He's never been known for very good hygiene. He's not exactly forensic about cleaning his grill, so his breath smells pretty rank a lot of the time. Bianca has to just hold her breath and suffer through it, since there's no way she could ever be honest with him about it. He's way too unstable. He'd fly off the handle if she told him what she really thinks. Given his fragile mental state, Bianca is quote-unquote stuck complaining to her friends, who all feel terrible for her and have begged her to leave, but she's way too addicted to the lifestyle he's giving her to go anywhere right now. Bianca is extremely intelligent, well-educated and beyond ambitious. This idea that she's some sort of victim is way off the mark. She's absolutely loving the attention she creates by baring her body in public. She's got no problem flaunting her incredible body, if that's what keeps Kanye happy. Putting up with his madness is a means to an end for her. Almost every time Kanye and Bianca go out, she's wearing revealing and even see-through clothes. There are thousands of pictures of her almost naked, and Kanye is enjoying the attention she receives. There was a time when he would attack paparazzi for filming his pregnant wife. Now he's purposefully drawing extra attention, with a naked woman beside him. I can't even show most of the pictures on here. They are way too explicit. On February 10th, Kanye released his Vultures 1 album, with the behind of his wife on the cover, and numerous lines about the Jews in the lyrics. This is another album that received overwhelmingly negative reviews. But that didn't stop Kanye from announcing Vultures 2 and Vultures 3. 3 days later, Kanye was approached by paparazzi at the airport and asked about his anti-Semitic comments. He said that he can't be cancelled, that he went #1 on Billboard with his album despite all the backlash he received over the past couple of years.
Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew. So cool out. Until you do your facts, until you really do the facts with the fake indoctrination that y'all pull into the schools and all that, you know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules. How many more times y'all gonna call me crazy? How many more times y'all gonna give me fake medication that makes me fat off of a misdiagnosis when I really have slight signs of autism from the car accident? But then y'all gave me, you say whatever, just give them that bipolar medication. Y'all try to kill the superheroes.
In April, he was sued by a former Yeezy employee claiming that Kanye is obsessed with porn, and he recalls daily orgies with 2 or 3 girls. Then on August 3rd, that same year, Kanye released his next album, Vultures 2, which received even worse reviews than Vultures 1. It was panned upon release mainly because it's a compilation of unfinished songs and ideas. They also criticize his lyrics and accuse him of using artificial intelligence for his vocals. Commercially, his sales were also dropping drastically. The album only sold slightly over 100,000 units in the first week, even though Kanye is one of the biggest rap stars not only right now, but in history. 4 days later, on August 7th, Kanye's former chief of staff, Milo Yiannopoulos, stated that Ye was addicted to laughing gas. He alleged that his dentist, Thomas Connolly, who installed his titanium grills in January 2024, had moved into Kanye's apartment building and was charging him $50,000 a month to supply the drugs. There is a reason Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is no longer capable of successfully releasing music or clothing. In fact, there are several reasons. But the most serious and the most recent is his dentist, Thomas Connolly. Connolly got Ye hooked on nitrous, laughing gas. It is my belief that Connolly sought to diminish Ye's mental faculties, so that Connolly and his business associates could extract millions of dollars from him. Earlier this year, I uncovered the fraud and intervened. Ye, hooked up on nitrous, blew up our relationship on purpose by proposing something he knew I'd have to resign over, because I had told him so. The resurrection of his longtime idol fantasy, making porn. Thomas Connolly is a dangerous predator who targets African American celebrities into whose mouth he puts fake diamonds, as I suspect he did to Lil Yachty. He must be stopped. I filed a complaint with the California Dental Board last week to that end. Like explained earlier, this is not the first time that Kanye has been dealing with a laughing gas addiction. It started back in 2015, when he worked on his album The Life of Pablo. Kanye's mental problems make it very easy for him to get addicted. And unfortunately, there haven't been any major positive developments in the past few years. It's actually the opposite. It only got worse. On February 3rd, 2025, Kanye and his wife Bianca walked down the red carpet at the Grammy Awards, with Bianca fully naked, cameras zooming in on her private parts, and her showing off her body as always. Kanye was only there to show off his naked wife. He didn't even watch the Grammys, even though he was nominated. He just walked down the red carpet, let everybody take pictures of his naked wife, and then jumped back in his car to drive home. The night between February 6th and 7th, Kanye had another meltdown on Twitter, making the wildest statements of his career in a series of tweets, one more disturbing than the other, saying things like, "Jewish people actually hate white people and use black people. I'm racist. Stereotypes exist for a reason, and they all be true. All white people are racist. I'm a Nazi. I love Adolf Hitler. Now what? I don't even know what the F anti-Semitic means. It's just some BS Jewish people made up to protect their BS. Call me Adolf Hitler, and your B-word still wants to F. Hitler was so fresh. I'm going to normalize talking about Hitler, the way talking about killing people has been normalized. I'm cold. When I feel an ounce of feelings, I stand still and hold my eyes open like a psychopath, till that feeling of feeling anything goes away. I have no heartstrings. People pull at your heartstrings to control. People use your feelings against you. I can say Jew as much as I want. I can say Hitler as much as I want. Matter of fact, I do say it when I want. Ain't nobody ramped up either. I'm calm as ice. This how I really feel, how I really felt, and how I will always feel. F all of your FS unfair business deals. Any Jewish person that does business with me needs to know. I don't like or trust any Jewish person. I'm never apologizing for my Jewish comments. I can whatever the F I wanna say forever. Where's my effing apology for freezing my accounts? Suck my D. How's that for an apology? Be clear, you Jewish people don't run me no more. This is a free country, and this is my free opinion. You abort black children for stem cells. Abortion is murder, and it's pushed on to the black and Latino communities. Some of my best friends are Jewish, and I don't trust any of them. I say whatever the F I want. I'm a Nazi. Let's see if y'all give that money back. Elon stole my Nazi swag at the inauguration. Yo, my guy, get your own third rail. Elon Musk and Kanye are the closest friends, by the way. He constantly unbans them from Twitter, allowing Kanye to continue to spread degeneracy. I used to be woke too. sharing an old picture of himself wearing a "Say No to Nazis" shirt. He also doubled down on his "slavery was a choice" comment from 2018 by showing that he still feels that way, saying slavery is a choice. Kanye also spoke on his support for Diddy and his opposition to those who have claimed that Diddy engaged in sexual assault with him. He asked President Donald Trump to help him with his release. Free Puff. Puff, we love you. Who's ever after Puff, we gotta find out exactly who they are. Okay, cool. Play Off the Grid. He then prepared another ad for his website Yeezy.com, which was meant to promote his merch for his new album Bully. Right after airing the commercial at the Super Bowl on February 9th, he took down all the merch and replaced it with a white shirt with a swastika on it, encouraging over 100 million people to go buy a Nazi shirt. And guess what? The shirts sold out. It was a total success for him. I've wanted to make this t-shirt for years. My greatest performance art piece thus far.
So what's up, guys? I spent like all the money for the commercial on these new teeth. So once again, I had to shoot it on the iPhone. Go to Yeezy.com.
That same day, before deleting his Twitter account, Kanye not only posted dozens of porn videos back to back, but also continued making wild statements. Let me start by saying this. I have hit women before. Drake said Kendrick hit his girl, but that is not recorded on tape like the Puff video. I am in LA right now, at the Four Seasons. I am risking my life to tweet this, so walk with me. Drake says Kendrick hit his queen. The world sees Puff hit Cassie. Kendrick is at the Super Bowl. Puff in jail. They pick which people they want to prop up, and who they want to put down, and when they want to. But all celebrities are scared and selfish. We sit in our mansions, get extorted by our so-called family and friends and B-words. I am in LA. People will want to and or succeed at killing me for this one tweet alone. I've offended people. Honkies, Jews, and fat B-words. A fat B-word may try to kill me. If this is my last day on earth, play this in my movie. And play the fat B-word part 2, cause I'm funny, and all you people is funny to me. Jews were better as slaves. You have to put your Jews in their place, and make them into your slaves. I am a future president. The Jews have destroyed my country, and a lot of the world. Compare Jewish-designed cities to the cities Hitler designed with Albert Speer. I will redesign America. I said a future president, not a future president. On February 11th, Kanye was accused of antisemitism and misogyny by a former Jewish employee. Shortly after she was hired in December 2023 as a marketing specialist for Kanye, he, quote-unquote, carried out a calculated campaign to threaten and psychologically torment Jewish people around him, eventually leading to her wrongful termination nearly 6 months later. She claims that Kanye sent her text messages saying things like, I am a Nazi, welcome to the first day of working for Hitler. And no, I'm not reading that. On March 9th, he went on IG and posted a KKK outfit with the caption, Outfit of the Day. Then, 9 days later, on March 18th, Kanye releases album Bully, which features AI-generated audio deepfake vocals, which he promised to re-record with his own vocals in the future. This is most likely another empty promise, just like how he promised to finish Vultures 2. Seems like Vultures 3 was cancelled as well, and he's already working on his next album called World War 3, which he might actually change to Cuck. Bully's alternative album cover features a red Nazi swastika against a black background. The cover for World War 3 depicts two individuals wearing red and white KKK-inspired outfits. So he continues with this whole white supremacy Nazi image and his quote-unquote anti-Semitic sound, saying that he identifies as a Nazi. I really wished we could send Kanye back in time to meet Hitler. He would probably get smoked within 0.5 seconds. Fuck out of here. The leaked tracklist of the album is diabolical. Some of these titles I can't even read out. I mean, this guy is beyond saving. The most disgraceful fall-off of the 21st century. A day later, on March 19th, he once again disrespected the guy who gave birth to his career. The man who made him famous and got him where he's at right now. Jay-Z, who was actually one of his best friends. Wait, has anyone ever seen Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids? They're R-worded. No, like literally. And this is why artificial insemination is such a blessing. Having R-worded children is a choice. Now, Jay-Z and Beyonce, on the other hand, F those K, S, N-words and their entire families. At least Jay-Z and Beyonce get to raise their R-worded as kids. I need everyone to know that I took the post about Jay-Z and Beyonce's family down, and Jerry Lorenzo's family down, because there was a possibility of my Twitter being cancelled. Not because I'm a good person. I took it down like Down syndrome. Get it? Am I right? Am I right?
Oh! Kanye! Oh, Kanye, you okay? You okay?
Yo, fuck you, Kanye, first and foremost, for making me do this shit, motherfucker.
He also went off on his ex-wife Kim. Kim Kardashian is a sex trafficker. I don't like that Twix has my daughter in her video dressing all grown. I would have expected more from Twix. It's F all you people. My soul is black. And watch y'all don't believe me and just say I'm crazy. The Kardashians are sex workers. And they sex traffic all of the black children they strategically produce. He also claimed that a lot of people hit women and said that Diddy's ex Cassie was extorting him. He also said Cardi beat women, I beat women, but everybody hate Diddy. On March 30th, DJ Academics then held an interview in which Kanye wore a black KKK-inspired outfit. Ye made further controversial remarks, including that he regrets having children with his ex-wife Kim Kardashian, that he doesn't regret dissing his former friend and collaborator Virgil, and that he doesn't take back what he said about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids after calling them R-worded. He doesn't back off dissing their children, and even doubled down. He also said that his wife Bianca left him by running away and disappearing. On April 8th, Kanye posted a KKK outfit in red and also in yellow. He wants to bring out a new KKK-inspired clothing line in different colors. And the worst part, he still has millions of fans and followers who are defending him, using the phrase "separate the art from the artist" while continuing to support him, one way or the other. Deep inside, a lot of them are still cheering him on. 2 days later, on April 10th, Kanye posted a picture of Hitler with a goat emoji, calling him the greatest of all time, to which his wife Bianca responded by criticizing his delusional anti-Semitic remarks. Let me be clear, Hitler was a genocidal murderer who should never be celebrated. Praising him is a direct insult to the millions who suffered, especially the Jewish people. Kanye West's anti-Semitic rhetoric is not only disturbing, it stands against everything I believe in. As long as he keeps repeating this dangerous narrative, I'll keep speaking out. I want no part in it, and never will. That's crazy, but you ran right back to him a couple days later. But anyway, Kanye then continued making fun of Jay-Z and Beyonce. Do Beyonce ever let Jay get pussy? I mean, like, at least a couple times. He even hinted that he wanted to have sex with Beyonce once. If I just had 10 more minutes that one time in the studio with Beyonce. I know Jay-Z is driving around like, damn, I have to kill Kanye. I know it's gonna hurt Jay-Z to kill me, but somebody's gotta do it. Plus, I don't want the Jews getting credit for my murder. On April 15th, he posted an edited picture of himself on Hitler's body, with the caption, "This is the best Hitler image yet." Then 6 days later, on April 21st, he posted a preview of a song called Cousins, which is about Kanye's cousin who's serving life in prison. Kanye shocked the world by explaining how, until he reached the age of 14, he would perform oral sex on his cousin, whom he introduced to pornography at the age of 6. This song is called Cousins, about my cousin that's locked up in jail for life, for killing a pregnant lady, a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6. And then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin Steve till I was 14. Now let's do the math. His cousin is 4 years younger than him. So by the time they stopped, his cousin was likely either 9 or 10. And it started when his cousin was 6, and Kanye about 10. Alright, I'm done. I'm done talking about this clown. He's spending more time on Twitter than with his kids. Which actually is a good thing. I don't want this sick, twisted devil anywhere around kids. There seems to be no end to his madness. His fall from grace is a tragic story. A man whose personal demons and public outbursts cost him everything. While Kanye has continued to advocate for mental health awareness, his actions have often sparked concern about his well-being. Despite the immense talent he possesses, his actions have overshadowed his legacy, leaving many to wonder what could have been had he made different choices. The man is living proof that money doesn't buy happiness. You can have all the money in the world and still be miserable. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of Kanye's fall from grace in the comments below. And as always, stay tuned for more hip-hop content.